Good evening. At least you didn't have to hear me blow my nose. Uh, Hope everybody's doing well. I'm tired today. I don't know. I have this where I feel better. I feel a little bit more energy and stuff like that. And then I have days where there's just no energy and I don't know. I feel like dead tired all day. And it's certainly one of those days. I paid attention to news fairly well today. I dug a little bit into the situation that unfolded in Virginia last night at a Walmart. I'm sure many of you have heard about the mass shooting. The shooter killed 6 people and took his own life. I believe there were 4 injured, I think. Forgive me if I'm wrong. I've got an article we'll go over. I looked at it, and I don't understand. There are some things that had me wondering and questioning. For one, I don't know, I thought it seemed like it took an incredible amount of time for them to get any information out. Anything. Seemed like it took a little bit longer than usual. Then they release the info. They release the suspect's name. And, apparently the suspect, again, he's no longer living. Apparently, he was kind of an oddball. There are people that say he did things like covered the camera on his phone. He talked about how, he's concerned about government watching him and stuff like that. And I'm kind of curious how much truth there is to those statements. But the thing that really struck me as odd, and maybe more information to come out, I'm sure more will, but the thing that kind of struck me odd is nobody really knew why he would have done this. My initial thought, because, when I first heard it was an employee, probably, no, we don't need hookers in our chat. When I initially heard that it was an employee, I thought, uh-oh. Alright, this is somebody that just got let off, just got fired, laid off, whatever. I don't know that was the case. I haven't seen anything yet indicating that his job was at jeopardy or that he had already lost it, or I didn't see anything like that. And in all the information that I've come across, I can't see anything that would have sparked it. Now, I haven't went back and looked at the other case of the one other whack job that decided that he wanted to kill a bunch of people. I haven't looked back at that to see if they've got any more information on motive. I'm sure they probably got something. I do know updated information from when I talked about it was apparently he's one of these, I don't know, genderless people or whatever. So that is kind of interesting. As far as the situation with Virginia, you tell me that somebody, oops, sorry. I'll get it right. You tell me that somebody's concerned, they have, questions, concerns about the government watching them. And I'm going to be like, okay. Because, and the articles kept talking about his paranoia. Oh, non-binary. Okay, that's what it was. Non-binary. Okay. Yeah, I mean, non-binary, right? And they talk about how that's to do with gender, but I always thought binary was like zeros and ones. So I guess he has no zeros and ones. Non-binary. I mean, how are you gonna do then? You can't even like the basic level of coding. You just already lost. Gotta have binary. Anyway, yeah, I can't see anything. I don't know if there was something that triggered that situation or not. I haven't looked back into it, to be honest, which I probably need to do. Yeah, man, like, imagine doing your job and stuff, man. Yeah, I haven't went back into it. It is what it is. Howdy, Hex Boost. Oh, wow. So, is your wife one of the injured? Buck you two pitch. Is your wife one of the injured? Yeah. Yes, and I heard. Oh, okay, okay. Now, Buck you two pitch. Are you talking about the Virginia situation? I just wanted to be clear on which one. Let's see. Yeah, I heard he was Walmart manager, or that he was in management. I think somebody called him a support leader or something like that. Which I think I know the position that is. It's not like manager. It's not like a manager or assistant manager. It's kind of almost like a crew leader. Kind of more or less like a crew leader. Oh, I see. I see what you're saying. Wow. Yeah, I bet it is crazy. And I don't know. You being closer to the area, I'm sure you probably hear a lot more information that doesn't get out there in the national news. Have you heard anything as to what may have set this guy off? Wavy 10 is the best. Okay, let me check that out. She heard the calls come in over intercom. What do you mean? Intercom on the hospital, I guess. Yeah, that had to have been insane. Yeah, I've got Wavy's website open here. Yeah, I mean it's just insane. Trying to see. Okay, let me go ahead, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring up a lung, apparently. And besides that, I'm going to bring up the web view. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I mean, the feds being there, I don't know. I don't know. And the reason I say it like that is because, unfortunately, our government and its agencies are such bloated jokes at this point. It's just kind of one of those things to where any little reason that they find, they throw as many agents out there. They basically, the whole point of any agency or organization is you have to prove your worth. You have to prove why they need you. You have to find problems. And some agencies go out of their way to create the problems they find to prove they're needed. A lot of agencies that do that. FBI happens to be one. So I think a lot of it is just a matter of throwing manpower out there. I think that's the most of it. To say that would be a reason for added suspicion of conspiracy or anything like that, nah. Government likes to spend lots of money and waste lots of money and spend lots of man hours, and government is definitely not efficient. Right. Well, and that's going to be another thing too. They do want a show of force that way. There is a bit of a mental impact for anybody that might be considering committing a similar act. To see that type of a force, to see that type of response, it's kind of one of those things where that would fuel some people, and then other people, that would scare them away. So I think a lot of the psychological games, the tactics they play, I think a lot of them are actually dangerous, because you have to know the situation, you have to know that person, because there are people that would damn well call your bluff, and there are people that have fold easy, and you don't know which is which. I'm not sure what you were talking. Tracy, you said you were talking about FF. Friendly fire? No, I'm kidding. I see what you're saying. That is interesting. I wonder why they took them all the way to that one. Huh. I don't know. There's like I say, my big question is what was the motive? And he may have had one. It just hasn't been released yet. But I find it very interesting. Oh, I see what you're saying. That would be the reason then. Okay. So, and I'm not going to read the whole thing. You've already heard about it, I'm sure, a million times today. Just trying to cover the main things. He was 31 years old, the suspect, the shooter. The 6 victims, 4 more injured. Apparently opened fire in a break room, but there were victims. I believe there was one right outside the store, I think. And then I think there was one in grocery. He died at the scene before police arrived. So, I'm at a loss here. Okay, so, okay, false flag. Okay. How did I hear about it? Sputnik. Sputnik News. I was getting ready to lay down, or I guess I was laid down. Anyway, I didn't have my watch off yet, and my watch vibrated, and I looked, and it was the notification that the notification about the shooting, and I went ahead and shared it out last night, and then earlier today, I got up. Now that I remember, I got up last night. As a matter of fact, that's what it was, because I got up and I came in here to look. Wasn't that? Yeah, that was last night. I got up and I came in here to look. I booted up the computer. That's what it was. Okay, here's the thing. I knew there was something really odd, and I was forgetting. So last night, Sputnik broke the news, and I brought it up on the phone. And Sputnik is quick. They're like, bam, and they won't even have any information. They'll just type out the headline and push it, and then they'll write the story. And so I waited a little bit. I refreshed Sputnik's page, and I'm using my phone. I'm in bed, and really not getting much information at all. And I did that for a little while. I started looking. I hate using my phone to do anything. I hate it. It's a phone. Like, call me, yo. Other than that, I really don't want to be doing a bunch of stuff on it. I like full-size keyboards and the speed of computers. But I couldn't get any. I wasn't finding no information. I didn't see anything. Oh, dude. I know. Okay, I know who it is. How you doing, brother? Frank. How you doing, man? Like I say, I was checking at all the big places. CNN was one of them I was checking. Not really getting much information at all. And so I got up, and I came in here, booted up the computer, and I started doing a little bit of digging. I couldn't find nothing. And this was probably an hour and a half, 2 hours after the news broke. I was like, holy cow. Yeah, I take it you're living in Virginia now. Holy cow, that's a little ways away. I'm still in Highlands, so. Oh, man. Yeah, let's see. I was, as I said, described as weird and paranoid. I was the overnight team lead. Let's see. He said, according to Daily Mail, former co-workers described being as weird and so paranoid about being watched by the government that he taped over the camera on his phone. Now, see, that doesn't bother me, you know? Wow, yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. How long you been in Virginia? Like I said, I wouldn't think nothing of that if he covered his camera up on his phone or his laptop or anything like that. Wouldn't think anything of it. It's not just government. I mean, you can hack into that stuff. It's not. Let's see. And I watched the video of him, a little conversation with him and some co-workers, and, you know, I mean, they say they started shooting in the break room. Now, I'm saying they say that. That's not the official, you know, timeline. I heavily suspect that he started shooting outside as he went in to the door, you know, and I think the break room was the last part of his rampage. Yeah, it is. By the way, it is a thing to tape the cameras. Yep. Oh wow. Yeah, I'm just catching back up in chat. Yeah, I know you left here quite some time ago, and then I know you went down south somewhere. I think didn't you go to Tennessee or something like that? And then yeah, like I say, I'm still here. I don't know. There's something about this place. Let's see. Trying to find more highlights to mention. Absolutely crazy. I hear you, man. Yeah, it's one thing about this town. It can be a big pain in the ass. It is what it is. They weren't fans of me being here, that's for damn sure, but I've been here since I was 5 years old, so they can kiss my ass. Let's see. Trying to find the spot where it talked about. Wait a minute. Is that it? Somewhere it said one of the people had said, I mean, he just kind of went in and just started shooting, and nobody has any idea what caused it. So, initially when I hear stories like this, I think, oh, okay, maybe somebody lost their job, or maybe it was an employee that was bullied or something like that. But this was somebody that had worked for the company for, what, I think 12 years? If I'm not mistaken. Not somebody that just started last month. I think he'd worked there like 12 years, is what I read. That's notable. That's something to definitely put in amongst everything when you think about things. So I don't know. Right on, man. Right on. Well, there certainly ain't nothing wrong about Tennessee. I would like to get out of Highland. I just, well, kind of like what you said. It's one of those deals where the hardest thing about Highland was coming up with enough money to get the hell out. Pretty much, yeah. That's pretty much what's got me held here at this point. Let's see. I don't remember exactly where that was, but they just more or less indicated they just walked in and started doing it. That there was no indication anywhere that would lead to believe anything either way as to what would have encouraged this guy to do this. I'm sorry, telling me that he taped over his camera is not enough for me to think anything about the guy, because I know several people that's done it. Not necessarily their phones, but their laptops. Absolutely. In fact, I've got not this one right here. This webcam here. I've got somewhere I've got a cover for it that it actually it's got double-sided sticky tape to keep it on there if you want to keep it on there. But that's what it is. It's a little cover that you can put on there. It came with the camera, and all you got to do is peel off the sticky tape stuff and put it on there, and then it'll snap shut, and you can close the lid over top of the webcam. So that way, But there's another way. All I got to do is reach over and pull up the USB cable. But you see how worried I am. I'm not doing nothing. I mean, that's just it. I'm not doing anything. And for them to want to come after me for anything that I am doing, which, wow, I smoke weed, which is legal now. And you know what? For a large majority of my life, that's the most illegal thing I've ever done. Not ever, but for the large majority of my life. Anyway, let's see. Okay, I guess we can go over the tabs I have open, and then go from there. Do the headlines. So, come on, switch. Things heating up again in Russia, Ukraine. Wave of huge airstrikes reported in Ukraine. Russia has targeted Ukraine's energy infrastructure in a large-scale missile attack on Wednesday, striking multiple targets in the capital Kiev and elsewhere across the country. Emergency power outages have occurred in all regions as a result of the assault. Ukraine's national power grid operator, Ukrenergo, has reported. Kiev Mayor Vitaly Klitschko, I'm sure I got that wrong, said that there were explosions in various parts of the city and that water supplies had been cut off. He also mentioned the power outages. According to Kiev's military administration, a projectile hit a residential building, killing at least 3 people and wounding 6 others. However, it is not yet clear if it was a Russian missile or one fired by Ukrainian air defenses. The whole of Odessa region has been left without electricity amid the attack, local authorities said. In Ukraine's second-largest city, Kharkov, the subway system has been paralyzed due to a power outage, with people being evacuated to the surface, the mayor said. The South Ukraine nuclear power plant in the southern city of Nikolaev has been forced to shut down all of its reactors, according to media reports. The plant became the largest in Ukraine after Zaporozhye region, which hosts the Zaporozhye nuclear power plant, joined by the Russian state last month as a result of a referendum. The local authorities have also confirmed the stoppage of reactors at the, Klimsky nuclear power plant in western Ukraine. I mean, how do you even Khmelnytskyl? You pronounce it. I'm not even sure if that's really a name. Let's see. Strikes and power outages have also been reported by officials in Lviv, Nikolaev, and that place again, Sumy, and other locations. The neighboring former Soviet Republic of Moldova has also experienced power outages as a result of the Russian strikes on Ukraine. The country's energy system is connected to that of Ukraine. There have been blackouts in the capital, Chisinau, and other parts of the country, with the breakaway region of Transnistria also being affected. Reading up about you're being taped. So yeah, quite a few strikes. And then this happened a little bit afterwards. Europe's largest nuclear plant loses power. Pretty much just about what it says. The Zaporozhye nuclear power plant in Energodar has been again been disconnected from the external power grid and is relying on diesel generators for emergency power to maintain reactor safety, the International Atomic Energy Agency reported on Wednesday. The latest incident at the ZNPP highlights the increasingly precarious and challenging nuclear safety and security situation at Europe's largest nuclear power plant, coming just a few days after it was repeatedly shelled, said IAEA Director General Rafael Grossi. The ZNPP lost power at 3:30 p.m. local time, according to the IAEA team on site. Currently, 8 out of the 20 emergency generators are providing backup electricity for the safety equipment. All 6 reactors are safe and stable, the UN nuclear watchdog added. 4 are already in cold shutdown mode, while the 2 that have been in hot shutdown in order to provide Energardar with steam heating will be prepared for cooling down. So I'm assuming they're shutting them all down. Then it goes into the history of what's gone on there, but let me have a sip of coffee. All right. 8 out of 20 as far as generators are concerned. So they're not in a lot of trouble yet. But, that's kind of one of those things to where you could have some kind of a snafu happen. And next thing you know, really is better if they've got grid power going in there. All right. By the way, what was that? Oh. I just shared out a headline and I didn't even pay attention to what it said. I had to double check. Be like, do I need to include that now? The answer is no. Ukraine launches artillery assault on Donetsk. So this is Ukraine fighting back, slapping back, something. The Ukrainian military targeted residential areas of Donetsk with heavy artillery late on Wednesday, with the shells reportedly striking multiple districts of the city. At least 10 155mm shells were fired from the Ukrainian-controlled outskirts of the city around 11:30 p.m., according to local observers. Could you imagine that? Because I'm kind of having a hard time imagining that. Could you imagine living somewhere where that was going on just outside of your town? I don't know, just crazy. Unfortunately, I think we're headed that direction. A RIA Novosti correspondent confirmed hearing 3 separate blasts in different areas of Donetsk. Footage recorded by eyewitnesses captured the sound of explosions, while pictures from the scene shared on social media showed several houses and vehicles damaged during the late evening attack. So far, no information on potential casualties among civilians has emerged. The attack followed a series of smaller artillery strikes earlier in the day and came shortly before the extraordinary session of the UN Security Council, during which Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky accused Russia of being a terrorist state for targeting Ukraine's energy infrastructure. It's called war. I mean, they haven't even just turned off the flow of all of their gas and other types of energy. All Russia has to do is shut everything down, and they screwed the EU and the UK. Boom. That's all they got to do is just completely shut off their pipelines and every bit of energy, every bit of fertilizer. And there's other things that they're responsible for that a lot of us don't, normally think about. I think the United States is getting itself in one hell of a bad position, but it says city of Donetsk has been subjected to artillery and missile strikes by the Ukrainian forces on almost a daily basis since February amid the ongoing conflict, following years of sporadic shellings after the 2014 coup in Kiev. While rarely commenting on such activities, Kiev usually blames Russian forces, which are in control of the city, for having shelled it themselves. And it makes no sense for them to do that. Donetsk, the capital city of its namesake republic, has recently joined Russia, along with 3 other formerly Ukrainian territories, following referendums held in late September. Kiev, as well as its Western backers, have rejected the referendums as sham polls, refusing to recognize their outcome. And the thing of it is, these people clearly want to be a part of Russia. Let them. Let them. This stuff is a lot of it's really insane, and I'm not choosing a side. I'm not choosing Russia's side there. I'm choosing the side of the people. It should be about what they want. I don't know, but it certainly wouldn't make sense for Russia to attack its own territories. And the thing is it's not like Ukraine's denying it either. Ukraine's, every time they do get in a good one, they're up in Russia's face about it. Then 5 minutes later, Zelensky's back crying, stomping his feet, and throwing a fit because he wants more weapons. Dude's like bipolar. Russia moves closer to total ban of LGBTQ propaganda. Now, I find this interesting, and I also do think that this is kind of probably one of the biggest differences in between I'll say the common Russian people, the majority of the Russian people, and the West. A lot of them folks over there, they're not good with a lot of this stuff. And they're not going to play games with it, if you couldn't tell. This goes on to say Russia's State Duma has taken another step towards a complete ban of LGBTQ propaganda in the country. The relevant legislation was approved by the lower house of parliament following a second reading on Wednesday. It introduces significant penalties for the distribution of materials promoting non-traditional relations, pedophilia, and gender reassignment. The bill on the protection of traditional values is widely seen as a follow-up to a 2013 law which prohibited the spread of LGBTQ materials among those under 18. If enacted, the law would ban this kind of propaganda among both minors and adults, according to a statement issued by the Duma. It would apply to the media, the internet, literature, and cinema. It would also expand requirements imposed on the advertising industry which prohibit the demonstration of non-traditional sexual relations or preferences. Breaching the new regulations would result in a fine of up to 400,000 rubles, that's roughly $6,600, for individuals, and up to 4 million rubles or $66,000 for corporate entities. Foreign offenders would also be expelled from Russia. You better listen to that, he/she basketball player. We must do everything to protect our children and those who want to live a normal life. Everything else is sin, sodomy, darkness, and our country is fighting this, said Vyacheslav Volodin. I'm sure I said that wrong. Chairman of the State Duma. On Wednesday, lawmakers rejected amendments that would introduce criminal liability for repeated offenses. Another proposal, which was not supported by Duma members, suggested banning video games that depict LGBTQ relations and acts of violence. According to Alexander Kinstein, Chairman of Duma's Committee on Information Policy, video games should be subject to separate regulation. The third and final reading of the bill on the protection of traditional values is planned for Thursday. Like I say, they don't play around when it comes to that stuff. Not one bit. Neither does the Middle East. It's a Western thing. EU Parliament brands Russia state sponsor of terrorism. Absolutely nuts, mind-blowing, and pointless, to be honest. Really, I mean, no need to really go in and read it. It's just a symbolic, it's really just, it's nothing. It's bullshit in reality. But it's nonsense, nonetheless. Just, it's ignorant. Anyway, this is absolutely mind-blowing as well. Balenciaga, and I'm sure I'm probably saying that wrong, apologizes for kiddie porn advert. What? Yeah, well, check this out. This is what they've got the young lady looking like. You know, look at the monster. Isn't that monster in, like, the leather get up? I don't know what you call that stuff. But, yeah, I'm calling it a monster. Whatever you want to call it, the bear, whatever, that purple fuzzy thing she's holding. And apparently, there is, right here, an image that has references, hang on, let me go back to here. Let me just read, because that'll explain it a lot better than what I can from memory. The luxury fashion brand Balenciaga, I'm not sure how that's how that's pronounced, has issued an apology after its promotional campaign with child models and BDSM-styled teddy bears caused online ire. The firm has threatened legal action against unidentified responsible parties. The promo material was created for Balenciaga's spring-summer collection featuring teddy bear handbags and was published earlier this month. It featured girls who looked preteen hugging or standing next to plush toys that appeared to be dressed in BDSM-style attire. The statement published on Tuesday on the company's Instagram stories said it had pulled the controversial ads from all platforms. Our plush bear bag should not have been featured with children in this campaign, it read. We have immediately removed the campaign from all platforms. And check this out. A tweet that went viral this week said Balenciaga had used as a prop a legal document referring to virtual child porn. The picture, however, was from a different photo shoot released in November in collaboration with Adidas. I hope you're paying attention. This is all of these people. They're all involved in it. Look, if you tell me that you're going to fight this whole human sex trafficking thing, and you are in any way, shape, or form through any part of it involved in the government, and I don't care, any way involved in the government, you are literally just keeping them right in the same damn system. As long as those in control can make people think that they're doing good, they can get away with whatever the hell they want. But you got to be smart enough to know the game. And that's what frustrates me about the learning curves. Because there's huge learning curves to everything in life. And there are so many people that, because of whatever reason, tradition, emotion, whatever the case, they'll like swear their loyalty to something that is the most dangerous thing they could even imagine. And yes, in this case, it's the government. I can't even begin to describe how evil government is. I can't even begin. But I can point out different things that many of the members have been involved in, like, oh, I don't know, Bohemian Grove, for instance. Tell me that's normal. So until we stop playing games with the federales, when it comes to helping, quote unquote, helping these people, maybe we need to, like, put them in our own kind of witness protection program. You know. Oh, but when we collect money, we have to go through this channel and that channel and that channel and that channel because we have to hide, you know, because it's so dangerous, you know. And so that's why we have to do this, and that's why nobody can verify anything, you see it. Yeah, I don't buy it. I'm just going to be real honest with you. I don't buy it. I don't buy it. I don't buy it. Not for a second. I think there's a whole lot of scamming going on in that department right now. And I'm not pointing fingers. I'm not saying who. But I don't buy it. And if it is as reported, still fucking idiots for feeding right back to the same person that created the problem. So they're doing nothing, and that's all they're doing is being pacified. That's how you stop somebody that might be a problem, how you stop them from actually being a problem. You make them think they're getting progress when you're just kicking them a peanut or two here and there. Gotta know how the government works. And I know some individuals think they know a lot about how they work. But, not when they're still swearing their allegiance to them. They haven't figured out shit. Anyway, I digress. Let me move on. Well, and that's just it. Sorry, I just looked back up a chat. Yeah, criminals covering for criminals. That's what it is. Absolutely. And even if you do get good folks in there with good intentions, they're only going to make those people with good intentions think they're doing good. And then while they've got them thinking they're doing good, they're doing double time of bad. It's insane how they play people so much. By the good book, you know, there is no little bit of evil. Why the good book's like that, you know? All right. Oh, by the way, I tried for another round of squirrel pictures today, and failed miserably. The neighbors across the street were doing yard work, so I think most likely the squirrels weren't so active because of that. No big deal. I think it could possibly be raining tomorrow, so depending on what the weather's doing, I may or may not have it back out there for another try. I don't know. I just want to get some really good shots. I don't know. Oops. How did, oh. Anywho. I'm ready to do some headlines and run out the door and scream and all that good stuff. And deal with them in their special code again. And they tell me that they put it on just to show me how much I love myself. So it's the love myself code. Let's see. No, they ain't gonna waste that much time with me. They'll drone my ass. Alright, let's do some headlines. Run out the door. Norway resumes deliveries of gas turbine parts to Russia. Germany wanted Ukraine to fold to Russia, says Johnson. EU country refuses to shun Russian diamonds, says Guardian. Blast rock Jerusalem. WHO to rename monkeypox, says media. EU has no right to Ukraine fatigue, says Kiev. Oh, okay, yeah, nice seeing you again too, man. You hang in there, don't, yeah, like you say, don't let your meatloaf. Catch you later, brother. Let's see. EU waters down. Wait, did I read that? Yeah, I did. I just can't say it. EU waters down Russian oil price cap. Because I had to burp. That's why. It says Bloomberg. Balenciaga says sorry for ad with little girls. I think that was a different article, though. EU divided over gas price cap, says CNBC. Let's see. UK to support Ukraine with retired weaponry, says media. Russia floats new nuclear-powered icebreaker. Covered that. UK debt soars due to energy support measures. EU Parliament brands Russia's state sponsor of terrorism. I think I read that one, but there were a couple of them to deal with that. So, Ukrainian lawmakers propose banning Russian Orthodox Church. China secretly hoarding gold to ditch dollar, says media. Russia is not state sponsor of terrorism, says U.S. ambassador. A top UK court rules on Scottish independence vote. A NATO contact's claim is media invention, says Moscow. Russia responds to EU sponsor of terrorism resolution. Germany and France rally against U.S. challenge. A proposed Russian oil price cap revealed. Turkish air operation just the beginning, says Erdogan. EU claims to have fully substituted Russian gas. Yeah, good luck with that. Ukraine halts Russian oil transit to EU, says Transneft. Conspiracy to dismantle Iran foiled, says foreign minister. Biden's outgoing COVID chief offers final advice. We don't want to hear it. Putin speaks on problems and achievements of Russia-led alliance. Germany to end largest African mission. Turkish foreign minister shares his views on ending war in Ukraine. A scientist offers explanation for great sheep mystery. No, not the Middle Eastern or the Southern great sheep mystery. No, they figured out what was going on to those sheep a long time ago. No, they're talking about the sheep that were just going in a circle. And from what I hear, there's a bunch of other animals too around the world, different places that have just been like walking in a circle. Bugs, stuff like that, just kind of weird. Kremlin explains what disagreement with Armenia means for Russia-led bloc. EU talks on Russian oil cap stalled, says Bloomberg. Covered that. Moscow explains its Ukraine objectives to the UN. Covered that. Serbia and Kosovo reach agreement, says the EU, so that's a good thing. A Pentagon dodges Ukraine aid question. And that is it. Wow, I got done in just under an hour tonight. Yay. Okay. Well, I am going to get the hex out of here and relax. I'm tired. Today was another day. Like I said, I woke up. I was tired from the moment I woke up all the way till now. I mean, just been wore out all day. Anyway, I am getting out of here. God willing, I'll be back tomorrow. I hope to see you then. As always, God bless you. We love you. Be one with your spirit. And shalom.